This is my first G-Shock full metal body, the GMB2100, also known as the CASIOAK. I was looking for a fun G-Shock that wouldn't break the bank, but I also wanted some of the bells and whistles to come with it. Some of the features I wanted in a G-Shock were tough solar, analog display, and Bluetooth connectivity, and that's why I went with this one. The full metal construction wasn't a priority for me, but I at least wanted half metal for some of that stainless steel touch and finishes. However, at the time I bought this watch, there wasn't a half metal CASIOAK with the features I wanted. I knew it was only a matter of time because right now they have 3 half metal CASIOAKs with the features I just mentioned in the reference GMB2100. But the dial on those don't really speak to me. This, however, is a stunning watch. This G-Shock is the first full metal version of the CASIOAK, along with an all black and rose gold version. I chose to go with the silver option because I felt this was the most versatile out of the 3, and I wanted the classic look of stainless steel. So I was a little concerned about how big this watch is on paper. The only thing going for it as far as specs was the height of this watch at only 13mm thick. But hey, people say it's a G-Shock. It's supposed to have a large presence. So I bit the bullet, purchased this on the secondary market, and I'm really impressed by it. When I handled this watch for the first time, you can feel the quality right away. It feels like it's punching above its weight. I don't know much about the process of IP coating, whether it's an easy process or not, but the coating on this seems to be well done. It's smooth and evenly finished. I'm not seeing any rough spots, and the brushing is also evenly distributed, whether it's vertical or circular, which the CASIOAK has both. It's got a good amount of weight, just like my other stainless steel watches, so I'm used to that, and the tolerances seem pretty tight. The legibility of this watch was also another concern of mine, seeing as how the hands are black and gray, but I've had no issues telling the time throughout various lighting conditions. Worst case scenario, there's the LED function that works pretty well. The watch using my caliper measures in at 44.7mm wide, 13mm thick, 50mm lug to lug, but let's face it, that measurement is a moot point because of the lack of articulation on the end links. They're pretty much an extension of the case itself. I knew this was a common contention with G-Shocks, and I wish Casio could have engineered this better, but the distance between the center of that first link to the center of the opposite link measures 61.7mm. So that measurement alone might deter buyers who may be interested in this watch. But like I always say, try it on first at the store, and if you like it, that's all that matters. The bracelet is very impressive, and it should be at a retail price of $550. For all you tapered bracelet lovers, it starts at 25.3mm and tapers down dramatically to 18.8mm. The clasp is at 20mm with double pushers, 4 micro adjustments, and it closes with a satisfying click. It doesn't require too much force, but just enough to make you feel that it's been machined to a high degree, unlike some of the cheap clasps you get at AliExpress. The links have smooth articulation held in by spring bars, and it is finished really well with no sharp points that I could find, including the clasp. It has a mixture of brushed and shiny finishes, with the majority of the surface being brushed. The polished areas are the divots you see on the links, as well as the top and bottom edges. And just a side note, the bracelet does flex a considerable amount from side to side, which may or may not add to your comfort factor, so keep that in mind. Overall, I don't think Casio cheaped out on this bracelet. The build quality is great, it's comfortable, and it is well finished. Moving on to the case, you get circular brushing on top of the bezel, with the mid-case having high polish and vertical brushing surfaces. The dial has so much depth, with the chapter ring stepping down, and those large thick indices further creating the illusion of depth. I also want to point out that the dial itself has an outer ring with concentric circles. There is a digital display on the bottom right that has multifaceted beveling, and a subdial with concentric circles on the left. The deep angled indices have striations that reflect this sort of rainbow-like colors and give off this prism look. There are a ton of interesting features with this watch, and it seems like every time you take a closer look, there's something else that sticks out that you haven't noticed before. For example, I noticed the other day that the G-SHOCK logo on the dial is embossed instead of printed like you see in the half metal GM2100. Another upgrade from the half metal is the screw down case back, as opposed to the half metal's backplate being held in by 4 screws. It's a rugged look, but doesn't seem to go overboard like some of their crazier models like the Frogman. The features are plentiful, as you may already know. It has features like world time, countdown timer, stopwatch, alarm, and Bluetooth. I highly suggest you make an account and download their app because it's a lot easier to set up functions like your time setting, alarms, and reminders. And one of the benefits of having Bluetooth is that you get to synchronize the time either manually with a push of a button or turn on automatic time synchronization. You can also utilize the phone finder feature if you're the type to lose your phone around the house. My favorite feature, however, is the time and place. With a simple push of the start button, the app will automatically record the time and place of your current whereabouts. I find this helpful when you're out on a hike and you want to remember this location for future reference. Or if you find a new favorite restaurant and you want to quickly mark the location to refer back to when you get home. As I wrap up this video, this full metal CASIOAK is the perfect grab and go watch for me. I don't have to worry about it dying on me with a full charge lasting about 7 months. It is hands down one of the best watches for streetwear. And even though it's all nice and shiny, a G-SHOCK that's been beaten up will still look right in its place because of its rugged look and tough reputation. If you're looking for a tough, reliable watch that can withstand extreme conditions day in and day out without sacrificing aesthetics, look no further than the GMB2100. Thanks for watching.